Let's see what kind of chaos we can find in the old Pilot truck stop here. Well, looks like there's a bunch of spots, so that's good. This old flatbedder, you don't have to work too hard to back in. Just here in Childress, Texas. Just gonna stop in and wash the pits and the bits. Maybe get a Cinnabon. It's been quite a few years since I've had a Cinnabon. I should eat something. I've done a full... What have I done? A full day's fast. 24 hours. Let's see, I stopped eating something at about... I don't even know what day it is. What month am I in? What country am I in? Some days, you know. 2 days ago, I stopped eating at about... I was just hungry. So I just kind of kept eating. Munching on stuff for a couple hours. And, not till I was ugly full, but till I was like full enough. And yeah. We'll just let this guy come out. I might just do what he did. Pull right in there. Anyway. At about 6 o'clock, I think I was done eating on Friday. And then I just said, okay, well, if I'm that hungry, I don't need to eat tomorrow. So it just kind of worked out that I didn't eat yesterday at all. And it worked out fine. What I could do is back in beside these two trucks beside me here. Or I could drive in. I'm just gonna drive in. We've been driving straight for quite a bit already this morning, about 4 hours, 3.5 hours or whatever. I got a straight back out of here, so this is what we'll do. This is what you do sometimes. Anybody that doesn't know, you just want to make sure you don't smash these curbs up. Make sure you put yourself off duty right away. I'm getting pretty good at that. Always remembering. Alright. I'll get back to you. Pits, bits, and Cinnabon. Well, we made it. Good for another 100 miles. Well, let's be realistic. Good for another 2,000 miles. No time. No time for clean. No time for clean. Okay, let's get out of here. I normally honk my horn, but we're in the parking lot and I don't want to wake anybody. Hopefully this guy coming will see that I'm coming and let me come out, or is he going to keep going? Hey, he stopped. Alright. Now we go button. Oh, can you guys hear that? I don't know if you can hear that whining or not, but it appears that my power steering pump is having some issues now. What else is new, right? Well, I don't like going through there, I don't like going through there, I don't like going through there. Maybe I'll go all the way to the end here. This guy's been sitting here for a little bit. Oh, I can't do that. Son of a gun. Dang it. Screwed up. Usually you can get ahead there on the right. So that guy's either dropping fuel or he's so we'll have to wait for this fella in front of me to go. This is kind of a tough one because when all these are full you can't really see where the spots were to pull through. But yeah, I can't get around that tanker. Well, guys, don't do what I did. That's bad news. That's bad news. Can we cut it? We can cut it. Hopefully he went through. No, he stopped. What's this guy doing? Just another guy stopped at the pumps, not going nowhere. Huh. Did you guys see that guy? That's who's driving the trucks these days. He's got a cast on his accelerator foot. Interesting. While I wait here, might as well tell you about this phone I bought. So I had a Samsung 9 that was given to me by my brother because I was a BlackBerry guy, diehard, right? Diehard BlackBerry guy. I had a Samsung 9 for a couple of years. And like I've said before, it was glitching, and I finally I dropped it off the back of my motorcycle, and it still worked really well. And then a couple trips ago before Christmas I dropped it, and then the top of the screen couldn't scroll or nothing like that. So I had to get a new phone. So I go on to Best Buy. I went to Best Buy. So I kind of looked up online, like, can I buy a phone in the States and bring it to Canada, right? Because it's just a phone, you should be able to, right? So I went to Best Buy and I happened to get the kid, right? The right kid. He knows his stuff. 26 years old, knows his stuff. He just bought himself a Tesla. He was really good mood. Great kid. Anyway, for those that don't know, an S9 is a fairly old phone, and an S23 is like a new phone. So I was looking for this Galaxy 23. If you don't know what your phones are, and you're an old foggy saying, hey, We don't need these damn phones. I don't know why you got them. You know, when I was a kid, we'd have to call each other up, or we'd go meet at the 7-Eleven, and that's how we knew where the parties were and all that. Well, hey, if you're talking like that and still thinking like that, the world is passing you by, my friend. The world is changing. You know what? Next thing you know is we're going to have an implant right here. They're probably up here. The men is probably, there's lots of open space here for men, so they'll find a spot. Implanted, and that's where your phone, you're going to go click click, or you're going to grab your ear and your phone's going to turn on. And then actually eventually we might even be all connected via the interweb of the world, so that we would know what we're all thinking, you know. And I'm looking forward to that. I am, really I am. You know, everybody say privacy and all that, but the only reason I'm really looking forward to that is because then once, just once, I would know what a woman is thinking. And I've only got one question that really boggles my mind. What's with the lists? You're always making lists. We got a list for that, and we got a list for chores, we got a list for groceries, we got a list for maintenance, we got a list for the dogs, we got a list for the cats, we got a list for the kids, we got a list for the teachers, we got a list for school, well, and also, you know, not only that, but there's just so many variants of lists. It's never one straightforward list. Like there might be one where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's all listed, everything to do, crossing it off. There's those people. Then there might also be the person that you know, puts it all in a book, and then every page has a certain writing on it, and then you flip about 40 pages and you start a new list, and you kind of forget where those lists are, so you start a new list on another page. But then there's the sticky pad list, the sticky notes listers. They write one thing on the sticky note and stick it on the fridge. Stick this note on there: celery. What are you asking or telling? Is that a question and an answer? Celery. What is? Get celery? We have celery in the fridge? I don't understand. Sticky notes everywhere. And then the old ones don't get pulled off. So now you don't even know what you're supposed to get. That's a tangent. That's a whole nother day. Anyway. Yeah, I screwed up. This happens sometimes when guys just come and park, you know, it's maybe this guy's leaving here on the left. If he goes right through, I'm gonna work on backing out of here and pulling through. Hey, you gotta slow me down somehow. Oh no, here comes Hoppy here. He's coming. Yeah, I guess you could probably use that boot on the accelerator, right? Ah. What I don't understand is these handicap decals that you got in your truck. Like, what's that for? If you're handicapped, should you be driving a truck? I don't know. That's another topic as well. Anyway, so we go into Best Buy and we buy this cell phone. And I ask him, I say, hey, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not from around here. And this was in Texas. Where the heck was it? Costa Cita, Texas. It's just outside of Houston. And I says to the guy, I says, hey, I'm from Canada. I want to buy this phone. Can I buy it here and just put it on my home provider in Canada, right? I use Bell Mobility in Canada. Alexander Graham Bell. Anyway, and the phone on him, when I'm in Canada and I drive across the border, I don't have to call nobody, don't have to do nothing. It automatically connects to a US network. And then as I'm going through the States, it'll connect to AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, whichever tower I'm at, right? Which is pretty slick. I mean, I tell you what, that is pretty awesome. And what's pretty awesome too is this trucker fella, he just went in, got himself a Cinnabon and came back out, and my hat's off to you, my man. That's how it's supposed to be done. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's how it's supposed to be done, folks. Anyway, he says, well, I think so. He says, I've never done that. He says, we've never had to deal with that. And I said, well, we're gonna learn something today. The phone was a good deal for us Canadians, so I went and got the phone. He says, I don't know. And I said, well, I guess we'll only find out if we open it up and try it, right? And he says, yeah. And I said to him, I said, I'll tell you what. If you can get it going, I'll buy the phone off you. If you can't get it going, I'm not buying the phone off you. He says, okay, deal. So then we pop it out. I actually pay for it first, right? We pop it out. We go through all the motions of getting this thing set up. You take your SIM card out of the one phone and you can put it in the other phone, and all your info should be there, right? So he does that, and then you know what the freaking coolest thing is? And I just sat there and watched them, because these kids, I tell you what, you kids, you guys are just like flipping through that thing so fast. I'm trying to catch up and read a little bit of what he's flipping through, but no, he's like this and swiping down and up and press and swipe and down and up, and next thing you know, he puts them down together, plugs it in, the new one, plugs mine in so they stay together, and then all of a sudden, boom, the old one is transferring to the new one in air, in mid-air. They're not even plugged into each other. Woo, woo. That's just amazing stuff to me, man. So all my contacts, pictures, phone numbers, apps, emails, everything's getting transferred over to this phone. And it's just the best thing ever. So I'm like, okay, well, so once it's transferred, it only took like 7 minutes. It was amazing. I said, you know, shouldn't we call it first before you do all this? He goes, no, we can just flip it back. And okay, whatever. And he says, I think it's gonna work. I'm like, okay, because he says your phone's working now. And I said, yeah, it should work, right? He says, yeah. So then he tries calling me. You know, he tries calling my number. It's a Canadian number. He's from Texas, so he tries calling it. Well, it doesn't go through. He tries to send a text, and the text doesn't go through. It just automatically shuts down. So then we're like, well, I'm like, well, hey, man, that's no good. So then he says, okay, well, let's try you text me. So you know, we're doing it right, the phones are right side by side, so we're just doing it right there. We're not like holding it up. So we dial his number and I can call him. Okay, well, that's weird. Oh, jeez, damn seatbelt. Okay.
Fasten seatbelt.
I am. Oh. Now we're safe. We're not gonna fall out. So anyway, I could call him and I can text him. Well, that's weird. Now we're like, whoa, what? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. So then we're thinking, okay, well maybe I don't know what we were thinking. We're like, this is weird. This can't happen. He keeps trying to call me. It's not working. So now we're like, well, maybe Bell Mobility in Canada has it blocked because it's recognizing a new phone. So maybe we have to input the new serial number into my account at Bell Canada and, you know, read it. Okay. So we get a hold of Bell. Now he's on the phone with Bell, same thing. Talk like beep, 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 on the phone, and he's talking to these guys. And the people at Bell Canada are like, did you do this? Did you do that? Here's the new thing. And so then I tried calling him. again, and it didn't work. He tried calling me, it didn't work. So now we're on the phone with Bell again, and or all at the same time, and we said, "What'd you do?" And the guy says, "Oh, I'm just updating, whatever." So I tried calling him again, and it's working. And the guy says, the Bell guy says, "You should be good." So the Best Buy employee tries calling me, it doesn't go through, it just drops. So we're just like, to the Bell guy, we're like, "This isn't working. Something's wrong here." So the Bell is like, now this time we're about half an hour, okay, with this Bell guy trying to get this phone uploaded. And here I'm thinking, this whole time I'm kind of going to myself, well, I only really need the banking part of it. So I'm thinking of using my old phone. So I really need the swipe down from my banking part. And the swipe worked if you move the phone all around, right? I said, what I really need is just to answer phone calls and receive phone calls until I get home, and then I can get a phone in Canada. But then I'm also like, this phone's a good deal down here. I'd kind of rather get it here in US cash, right? So then we're like, okay, Bell says, we're going to send you to our higher technical support. Okay. And we're trying everything. He's in, the young kid, he's in there flipping through. He's trying settings and ringtones, and he's trying all sorts of settings, trying to find out what the hell the problem was with his new phone, right? Still won't take his call, but I can still call him. Okay. Well, the new tech comes on, and these are the really smart geeks, right? These are the really geeky geeks. They know more, right? And usually their first answer is turn the phone off and on. Well, we've done that 45 times, and that usually works. Yeah, but it did, we're still not working. Then the guy says, "What phones have you tried it from?" I said, "We've tried it from the Best Buy kid's phone." Okay, maybe try a different phone. So I'm thinking, let's try a landline. Well, there's like good luck trying to find a landline anywhere. So then he says to another employee, "Christine, come here. Can I use your phone to call this guy's phone?" And so we're bugging her. I said, "Yeah, now you're calling Canada. Hopefully your long distance is good." And she's like, "Oh, this is cool, right on." So she dials, and yeah, she's able to call my phone. She texts my phone. I call her phone, it goes through. I text her phone, it goes through. So those two went through. So now we're like, okay, now we're really scratching our heads. What the hell's going on here? "Hey, Steve." So now he's on the, got a Best Buy helper over to the cell phone section. We need a hand. Just need to use your phone. So somebody with another earpiece comes over. Steve comes over. "Hey, Steve, you got to call this guy in Canada and let us see if it works." Steve calls my phone. It goes through. He texts my phone, it goes through. I call him, I text him, it goes through. So now I'm looking at this Best Buy kid. I'm like, what's going on? And he goes, "You know what? He's kind of sheepish, and he's kind of kicking the ground, and he's kind of shuffling his feet, and he's looking all embarrassed." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Well, I got my cell phone plan through my parents, and they probably don't have international calls on my plan." So every time, even though the phone is right beside each other, it's a Canadian number, it wouldn't go through. An hour and a half we did this. An hour and a half trying to figure this out. I still laugh. Oh, fuck, was it funny. Pardon my language. So he's all embarrassed. So I said, "Hey, mister, you're 26 years old. There's a sign that you need to break free of your parents. Spread your wings and get out there. You just bought yourself a Tesla, right?" I said, "Are you under your own insurance?" He says, "Yeah." "Registration?" "Yeah." "Get your damn own cell phone plan. Finally break free. Fly away. You can always come back. If you can't make it, you can always come back. But you gotta have that desire and that drive to get out and try it for yourself. So anyway, there you go. Any young people out there, break free. You gotta try this stuff for yourself. And then you won't be embarrassed when you go to try Call Canada and your mommy and daddy said you're not allowed to call Canada because it's too expensive. Take that to the bank. All right, bye for now.